Happy Tuesday, guys. Welcome to Puck Time. Andrew will be with us shortly, but in the guest chair, it is the one and only the Prez. We're going to have three games to talk about. We're going to talk about Seattle and Montreal, Minnesota and Pittsburgh. Andrew's going to be doing his prop segment, the Rangers and Washington. And then somewhere in between, I am just going to absolutely vent. And you know what I'm going to vent about. But with that said, Prez, you're going to join us on Thursday as well, too. It'll be just you and I hosting as Andrew is away that day. Welcome to the show, and let's kick it off with Seattle and Montreal. Seattle minus 160, Montreal plus 135. The total currently sitting at 6 in this one. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Well, Carm, firstly, thanks for having me, brother. Really appreciate being here. It's $5 Tuesday. I hope we get a chance to discuss that. The best sales day of the week over at WagerTalk. And I've got, Carm, I've got a 4% NFL side play going, an ATS bet going. It's only $5. Dude, I don't brag very often. 66% in NFL ATS bets in 3 years. Find me a handicapper anywhere with documented records that has hit 66% on NFL ATS bets over 3 years. Find me one. Oh, you did. I'm right here. Find me another, Carm. Yeah. Find me another.
Well, if Prez, if you go to Twitter, it may not be documented, but apparently everyone on Twitter is up like 90 units and hitting 75% in the NFL. Again, that is not documented, point. But that's where that's where you'll find them. But
that is a very very valid point, Carm. But anyway, 66%, and I got one up. It's only $5. Please take advantage of that. As for this game, Seattle playing Montreal. You know, Carm, my original reaction was I like Montreal. They're in much better form right now. 2 really good wins against St. Louis and Philadelphia. What's keeping me off of the side bet here is that I don't like play that Seattle has lost 2 in a row, and really a shitty loss against Carolina at that. They only put 19 shots on net against Carolina. So it kind of took me off of the side of this game because I think Seattle is one of those teams, you know, how many teams last night, for instance, I released the Toronto Maple Leafs to my clients against Winnipeg. And one of my reasonings was I don't think this team's going to lose 4 games in a row more than once or twice a year. And they had lost 3 in a row. I don't think Seattle is going to lose. Look, they're going to lose 3 games this year. They're going to lose 3 games this year at least 4 or 5 times. I just don't want to bet into that. So it took me off of the side, but I do like over the total in this game. And I know Seattle only put up 1 against Carolina, but when you're playing this Montreal Canadiens team, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh Penguins also, these teams kind of remind me of each other in the sense that they can both score. I think the Montreal Canadiens are going to average over 3 goals a game scoring, but I also think they're going to allow 3 or more goals a game on defense. If you go down and look at their last few games, they allowed 3 against Philadelphia, 2 against St. Louis. The Rangers put up a 7 spot. Islanders put up 4. LA Kings put up 4. Pittsburgh put up 6. So we know that Montreal is not going to be a tight defensive team. They lack goaltending and they lack defense, both in their top line and all the way, all 6 defenders. So I look at this game and I think to myself, it's a nice get-right game for Seattle's offense. They're going to get us 3 goals at least. And I think Montreal has already shown that this is a team that can score. 6 is the number. I am going with over the total.
Okay. Listen, I can totally see that game. And to your point of Seattle, Seattle are playing well. In watching that game, in which they played against the Jets, I thought they outplayed the Jets. But again, Winnipeg is a team that is never out of a game, and they almost came back against the Leafs. And then they followed up with obviously a tough one against the Carolina Hurricanes. But now they hit the road, and we've seen from the Seattle team in the past they'll go on these East Coast trips and string a bunch of wins together. So whether they can start it off in Montreal remains to be seen. Before I go to Andrew for his opinion on this game, and I'm leaning to Seattle here. I'm just wondering if I'm juiced out of this price at -116 with a road dog, and I likely am. Is Prez, I'm not sure you saw this story, but this is a funny one in the sense of teams like, let's say, Carolina. They normally will have their meal on the plane traveling from Seattle to Vancouver. They just played in Vancouver the other day or last night. They had issues with their plane, so they had to take a bus from Seattle to Vancouver. So Burns gets on his, because they haven't eaten, he gets on his McDonald's app and he orders something like 100 burgers and fries, whatever. He goes to the McDonald's and it's closed to walk-in traffic. It's only drive-through, but they have the order ready. He tries to walk through the drive-through and they would not let him pick it up because he has to be in a vehicle. So he starts knocking on the windows of other vehicles, asking if he can get into their car. Now imagine this face right here, knocking on your window late at night, trying to get into your vehicle to pick up an order. And the guy did. They let him in the car. He drove through the drive-through, picked up all those burgers, and he was on his way on their trip to Vancouver. So it's pretty hilarious that they would do that. But hey, kudos to this segment should be sponsored by McDonald's, since we've mentioned them a couple of times. But speaking of M's, Andrew McInnes, Montreal Canadiens. You may not be the Golden Arches, but give me your thoughts on this game, Andrew.
Carm, every single game but one yesterday went over the total in the first period of 1.5. Every game but one. And that's kind of the trend that I'm going to go with here tonight in this game with the Canadiens and Kraken as a fast start. Prez talked about the Kraken won't be happy right now with how they're feeling. And this Habs team, look, put two wins together. I can't remember the last time they put 2 wins together in a row, especially back-to-back, playing Saturday and Sunday. So that was nice to see after dropping 4 straight games. But I think this game's going to have a fast start to it. I think a fast start's important to both teams. I feel like they've both been pretty shaky in their first 5 to 10 minutes of their contest, and we're getting a pretty cheap price of -130 in this one. Not sure if I love the full game over here, but I do expect a fast start. It looks like Slavkovsky is back on the ice for morning skate. Not sure if that means he will be playing, but all the injured players that people were unsure of, they're all skating this morning with the Canadiens. And of course, this is the game. This is the first time that Shane Wright will play in Montreal since they chose not to draft him in that big draft. So curious to see if he'll be having himself a good game, maybe some player shot props or point props on him. But over 1.5 in the first period is my play here. The Canadiens let that game almost slip away against Philadelphia and on Sunday, as it was 4-1, and just like that, it was 4-3 with a minute to go in that game. So as much as defense is a focal point for them, their defensive players are still very, very young, so they're going to make mistakes. So I would not be shocked to see this one be 1-1 after the first period here, Carm.
Yeah, it's funny, Andrew, because as you said that, all I felt during those first period run yesterday, and I've been highlighting it on the shows, is the fact that the one game of the ones you mentioned that stayed under the total was the one with the Vegas Golden Knights. They had a perfect 6-0 at home, 8-1 on the season, first period overs. I had that as a small play, and of course it goes the wrong way. We talk about puck luck. Brian Leonard talks about puck luck. And Prez, before we get into this Pittsburgh and Minnesota one, I want to talk about puck luck, because sometimes you have the right side and it's if things go completely against you and you are frustrated beyond belief, but you have to just pick yourself up and carry yourself on. Now, what are you talking about? What am I talking about? The Utah Hockey Club up 4-1 late in the third period. I have a regulation bet on Utah, and they allowed 3 goals in 90 seconds to the San Jose Sharks. and then proceed to lose in OT. Now, this is a two-part question for you, Prez. How do you deal with those type of losses? But number two is, when you have a team in regulation and they blow a lead like that, are you hoping they lose in overtime too, just because you don't care at this point?
Yep. I'm definitely hoping they lose in overtime. My thought process is I want them madder than I am. So, yeah, screw them. So, yes, I do hope they lose in overtime. As for how do I deal with losses like that, I mean, that was an epic loss, Carm, no doubt about it. I had one this year already. I had the Colorado Avalanche in regulation a couple of weeks ago. They outshot whoever the hell they played 49-19. 49-19. They were up 2-1, and they let in a goal with 12 seconds left, and they ended up winning in overtime. Damn pieces of poops. How do I deal with it? I don't deal with it very well, bro. I don't sleep that well. I wake up in the morning miserable. It takes me a good many hours to get over it. I'm the worst person to ask because I have the single worst bad beat temperament on the planet. I am pretty much inconsolable. So I'm not the guy to ask, bro. I'd ask Teddy or some of these guys that take these losses better than I do.
Yeah, if we had that segment, bad bets, bad beats, or whatever, it would take up the whole show, and Dan doesn't want that. The one beat before I get to this one, I'm going to come right back to you on this Pittsburgh one. Is one I remember that you had was a St. Louis game where they scored with 0.7 seconds left on the clock in that game.
I think it was against the
text
Rangers,
messages Andrew and I got from you were absolutely unbelievable. 0.7 seconds left. Anyways, Lawrence, Marc-Andre Fleury making his final start in Pittsburgh, confirmed tonight for the Minnesota Wild. They're minus 120. Pittsburgh's even money. Marc-Andre Fleury's already announced he's retiring after this 24-25 season. So this is his last game in Pitt. Is it hyperbole to say that the Wild are going to play an unbelievable game in front of him to get him a win against the team he played for 13 seasons?
I don't buy that shit, Carm. Nah. I mean, they might sit around in their dressing room thinking they're going to play unbelievable in front of Marc-Andre Fleury, only to go out there, have a puck bounce badly, be down 2-0, and then lose 8-1. The Leafs played against St. Louis last week. Joel, what's his name? The coach, Craig Berube, playing against his old team, his former colleagues, for the first time ever, a team that he took to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Surely the Leafs are going to give this man a victory, play their hearts out, play their teeth to the gums, kill people, score. They had their worst game of the entire season. So I don't buy any of that nonsense. Anyway, let me give you guys a bet on this game. And I'm going this is a free pick up at WagerTalk, and I'm going to read literally the analysis that I just wrote on this game. And you tell me in the chat room that you are not going to bet this. I mean, this is a rock solid argument. Let's go. So when I look at this Pittsburgh team, I see a team that will score just over 3 goals a game and will allow at least 3 goals a game. They have been scoring up front, but they really lack depth on defense and cannot find a good goalie. This team has played 10 games this year, 10 games. And they've allowed 3 or more goals in every single game. They have allowed 4 or more goals in their last 6 straight hockey games. 4 or more goals in their last 6 straight hockey games. They also have scored 3 goals in 3 of their last 4. As for the Wild, this is a team that has gone over 3 goals in their last 5 games. They have scored 14 goals in their last 3 games. This line was 6.5. There are some really smart people out there who bet a lot of money on the under Thank you. Thank you for pushing this to 6. We're taking the over in this hockey game.
All right. I I love the thank you part at the end. The Prez, I'm with you. I hope you get the win, but sometimes the best laid plans don't work out.
Of course,
Unfortunately,
and
but it's why betting is what it is.
And it's also not a client play, which means that I'm not putting my money where my mouth is. But man, do I have
I get it
now.
Andrew. So Andrew, I'm leaning to Minnesota in this one. I wanted to get the win tonight for Marc-Andre Fleury. It's not a client play either. I do have a free play up at WagerTalk. I have about 5 free plays up at WagerTalk. So in condensing my NHL that I release to clients, any of the plays that don't make it or on the cutting room floor, I release as free plays. So you can get a lot of those over there. There's a soccer one. There's an NFL one for Thursday night. 5 free plays from me up there. I think I have more free plays than anybody at WagerTalk this month. Andrew, the question I have for you is this. Minnesota, this is their final game of a 7-game road trip. Gustafsson got lit up against the Flyers last time out, so you have to figure defensively they want to be better here. At the end of a road trip, are you looking to fade a team if they've had a really good road trip and you feel they just want to get home? Or do the circumstances we mentioned that are at play here with Marc-Andre Fleury playing his final game in against the Pittsburgh Penguins come into it for you?
That does come into effect. It's funny, Carm, because there's the angles for both teams' road trips, right? For Minnesota as well, and then look at for Pittsburgh coming off their road trip, and I'm more focused on their side. So unfortunately, we're head to head here. It's just kind of a small lean for me so far, but I do like the Pittsburgh side because they're coming off an unsuccessful road trip. I think it was Winnipeg, Vancouver, Calgary. I mean, they had that little mini West Coast tour, and for me, when teams come back home after a road trip, I want to fade them if it was a successful road trip. If they're feeling good about themselves. This Penguins team will not be feeling good, and I think they match up well against this Wild team. Pittsburgh's going to struggle against teams that have a ton of speed, but teams that kind of play the same way they do with just kind of smart hockey IQ, moving the puck around well, dump and chase hockey, I think Pittsburgh matches up well against. So it's going to be a good game. This is kind of like one of those ones that you and I discuss every day, thinking, you know what, this one will be close. But I do think Pittsburgh comes out on top in this one. And Prez talked about earlier about slides, right? Like how many times will a game be a 4-game slide or a 5-game slide? I don't think Pittsburgh is going to lose, 5 or 6 games in a row in times of this season. They're going to have tough spots, but this is, to me, is a good bounce back spot at home.
All right. I like it, Andrew. And, when we talk about slides we talk about like a team normally that if they're on a bigger winning streak or a losing streak, like let's say 6, 7, or 8 games, when they win the first game, I want to come back and play them again because they've gotten that monkey off their back. And it's sort of the same thought process of when a team loses their first game, that you want to bet against them the next time out because again, they've done so much to sustain that winning streak going that that monkey is also gone. Correct, Prez?
I could not agree with you anymore on this one, Carm. I think Winnipeg's a fade team for the next few games as we move forward. We saw Colorado lose 4 in a row, then put up a 5 spot. So I think you're 100% correct with that thought process. Also, guys, while I've got the microphone, please hit that like button. Do it just for Andrew's hair alone.
Yeah,
that's all.
Not mine, but Andrew's hair.
No, your hair. Your hair sailed away, bro. It's on a boat somewhere in the Atlantic.
Yeah, it'll return. I'm gonna grow it back when my win streak starts. So I'm not gonna shave. I'm gonna grow the playoff beard, but the playoff hair instead. Right now, Andrew, Let's go to something that is really positive, and that is your prop segments all season long, making money. Give us 2 or 3 props on today's card that we can follow along on and hopefully cash.
Yeah, 2 props for today here in the prop playbook. I will say really quick, just for people watching this on social media as well, we have that great deal right now going, $149 for 30 days of the NHL, 1 month of the NHL, $149. It's also $5 Tuesday at WagerTalk.com. But New York Islanders, guys, they're known for low-scoring, boring hockey, but somebody has to shoot the puck on that team. We're going to go with Anders Lee, over 2.5 shots on goal for him. To find the back of the net even is a good price, but also to get those shot numbers high. We've seen 3 of his last 4 games. He's been shooting the puck a ton. Those shot attempt numbers, shots on goal numbers are extremely high. So we'll go with over 2.5 shots on goal. Kind of a hefty price, minus 140, but I'll work with it. And in the exact same game on the other team, we're going to go with an Anaheim Duck player, Troy Terry, to record a point tonight. Guys, 7 straight games he's recorded a point, but because he plays for the Anaheim Ducks, the price is still only minus 135. That's worth it for me. We'll ride the hot hand. We'll ride this streak. Troy Terry has been great this season for the Anaheim Ducks, guys. Back to you, Carm.
Andrew, I like that before we queue up the next game, because you look at when you're looking at the player props, and something that was successful last season, and I talked about a lot on the show, is sort of focusing on players against teams that allow a lot of shots on goal. One being the top 3 this year, because you have an Anaheim, an Islander one against Anaheim, but the top 3 teams, Pittsburgh allowing 35 shots on goal per game, 34.89 for the Detroit Red Wings, and 33.88 shots per game allowed by the Anaheim Ducks. They're normally right near the top, in the top 4 or 5 in shots on goal allowed per game. So taking those shot props against them is always a profitable one, and I'll have one in that game at the end of the show. But we've got the Rangers and Washington. And Prez, we talked about streaks ending, and Washington is one of those teams. Put together a nice 5-game win streak. They lose their last one in Tampa, get shut out in that one. You want to double up with the Rangers and take them to beat Washington?
100% I do. Thank you for asking. Also, I'm unimpressed with the amount of likes that are happening on our YouTube channel right now. Guys, we're a team. We do this for you. You just hit the like button for us. It's pretty equal relationship, not really. Yeah, dude, Rangers tonight. And it's kind of in keeping with what we were just talking about, Carmine. Washington, excellent start to the season. 5-2, way to go. They won 5 games in a row. And then this guy released Tampa Bay for his clients, and he won it. Washington didn't show up. Tampa Bay won 3-0, and now I'm on a 4-0 run for my clients. I profit on the season. Way to promote in the middle of your analysis, Prez. Good job. Here we have Capitals. They won 5 in a row. They lost the game to Tampa Bay. I think they lose their next game. Exactly what we were just talking about, Carmine. Rangers are probably the best team in all of hockey right now. I think it's going to be close. You know, them, Dallas. And the thing about the Rangers is they played 2 shit games in a row. They lost to Florida, and although they beat the Anaheim Ducks, it was not a very good hockey game by them at all. And one of the great angles that I like to use in hockey, and I actually learned this from Matthew Barnaby and a few other hockey players that I know personally, is bet on a team who wins their last game but played shit. And the reason for that, and it works in the NFL and every other sport, is the team has the winning feeling, but the coach can bitch them out, scream at them, yell at them, and run them through drills because they played like shit. So it kind of gives the coach an excuse to sort of piss all over his hockey team, even though they won the game. And that's where the Rangers stand. 2 shit games in a row. I think they play really, really good tonight. And I think Washington is a team that is going to be outside the playoffs looking in, and a team that is about to regress. Take the Rangers tonight and take them in regulation at plus 100. And the Rangers, by the way, have beat Washington head-to-head 5 times in a row, given that they played them in the playoffs. And none of those games went to overtime. So there you go. Rangers and reg.
There you go. A great breakdown there by Steve Merrill. Oh, sorry, that was the Prez.
Hey, I wish I could. I wish that I could promote like Steve Merrill. Carmine.
Steve's absolutely awesome, man. I love the guy. And trying to keep this short. 6-2 last year, the Rangers against Washington. Obviously, that includes 4-0 sweep in the playoffs in the first round. For the Rangers, I'm going to do the old Don Buster here. And by the way, congratulations to Buster on getting a 5% winner with the over in the Columbus and Edmonton game. I'm going to do the Buster special here. I'm going to take the first period on the Rangers, -0.5 plus 165 on this one. Rangers have played eight games. If you're looking at it from a money line perspective, 4 wins. They've led after 20 minutes. They've led in 4 games. They trailed in 1, which was against the Panthers in their only loss, and they've been tied after 20 minutes in 3 of the games. But I'm taking them here to make that 5 wins after 20 minutes, getting plus 165, laying a half a goal on the Rangers first period. And I'll go to you, Andrew, for your thoughts on this one.
Guys, I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. Can you hear me okay, guys?
Well, yes, we can. Andrew's shifted.
All right.
We got you.
Yeah, we just changed locations. But look, I just wanted to say really quick about this one is that I believe that this is the time of year where you want to figure out which teams are overachieving, which teams are underachieving. And whether it's been in victories or in defeat, the Capitals are overachieving right now. Some of their offensive players, I think, are going to slow down. Their goaltending is decent, but those numbers are going to have to slow down. And for the New York Rangers, they've looked like a pretty good team so far, and they haven't even reached their potential yet so far. So this is one of those games to me where I go back to my old-fashioned team totals, up and over 3.5. You shop around, you're getting a pretty good price on it for them. And you take a look at this Capitals team. They've had a pretty favorable schedule to start the season off, playing some lighter teams, not having to battle all playoff teams, all the best of the best, getting some pretty good opportunities to kind of get their season off to a good start versus the Rangers. It's been a pretty big mixed bag of opponents. But guys, right now I have this Capitals team circled as one of the more overachieving teams on the season.
All right, Andrew, I'm going to go right back to you because I know you're having some Wi-Fi issues. So I'm going to go right back to you for your best bet on today's show, and let us know what you have up at WagerTalk on $5 Customer Appreciation Day.
Carmine, I just got the message from you saying it sounds like I'm in the shower right now, so I'll be quick. 4% best bet in the NHL. We're having a really good season with the 4 and 5% plays on a really good run with those. Also, that 149 special, $149 for 1 month of the NHL. But guys, we're going to go over 1.5 in the first period. Seattle Kraken, Montreal Canadiens. Look for a fast start in that game. That's my best bet for today.
All right, Andrew, best of luck with that. 188 people watching this live right now. 62 likes. Come on, that's like a third, guys. Hit that like button. It takes no more than a second, and we're gonna have Prez on again on Thursday. So you're just gonna hear from him again on this. Hit that like button if you can, guys, please. We really appreciate it. And if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button and join the ever-growing community here at WagerTalk TV. Prez, what do you got up at WagerTalk? And give us your show best bet.
Sure, brother. So firstly, as one of the owners of WagerTalk, I'd like to have a separate HR meeting with you and Andrew to discuss why the likes on your show is not up. So if we could schedule that for 2 p.m. Eastern time later this afternoon. Yeah. Okay, I'm kidding. Guys, I got a 4% NFL ATS bet for Sunday. And let me give you guys some perspective here. This is literally the strongest bet I have. That and my NHL moneyline sides. In 3 years of NFL ATS bets, I am 66%. I don't think there's an NFL bettor out there with a better ATS record than that in the world. That's how good and that record is. And that's not like I'm, 5-2. I'm 46 wins and 24 losses. I think I better double check that. Hold on. 46 wins and 24 losses. I'm also 10-5 this season. I got a 4% NFL ATS bet up for the Sunday. It is $5 only. Make sure to take advantage of that. I also have one NHL play up for my clients tonight, one NBA play up for my clients tonight, and one college football bet. I have already given my NHL play out on the show for free. So given that I've only discussed a couple of games, I'm sure you can figure it out. As well, that's it, dude. My best bet for tonight is the over. I wrote in there that it's the over for the Seattle Montreal game, and that's what I told you guys it would be. But honestly, it's the over in Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh and Rangers over 6. That's my best bet. That is not my client play, but it is as close to a client play as I would get, and a play that I will probably regret not releasing to my clients. Over 6. Thanks for having me, guys. Love doing the show with the two of you. You're both amazing.
Yeah, you're great today. We really appreciate you not giving out any recommendations on Netflix. We can do that on Thursday because it's just you and I. But a couple guys asked in the chat about the ladder challenge. I'll restart it tomorrow. I was still peeved about yesterday's. First of all, the ladder challenge, the final step of the ladder challenge dies with the Edmonton Oilers and obviously the injury to McDavid, but they looked like crap even before that injury. More so about the Utah meltdown late in the game that I said, let's just wait till Thursday or Wednesday and restart the ladder challenge. So I'll restart it then. Might up at WagerTalk right now, a $5 play for tonight's NHL. Inside that play, there is a coupon code for $15 off 5% MLS play that goes tonight. It is the playoffs in MLS, and we had a play on Saturday, 5-0 winner with the LA Galaxy. We're going to look for another win tonight. You can get $15 off of that with the code that is in that $5 play. And like I mentioned, a lot of free plays on the site from me. You'll find them at WagerTalk under the free play section. One of them is this one here. Noah Dobson, 25 shots in his last 5 games for the New York Islanders. He's gone over the total, his total, which is 2.5 in this one. He's gone over the total in 5 straight games after staying under in the first 2 for the Islanders. We're going to look for him to make it 6-0 against an Anaheim team that allows 33.88 shots per game, which is 3rd worst in the NHL. So Noah Dobson, shot total over 2.5 is your show free play. Guys, once again, we love the comments during the live show. Also the comments afterwards when this video is posted. Keep them coming. We really appreciate it. Hit that like button. Don't forget it is $5 Customer Appreciation Day at WagerTalk. A slew of packages up for $5 on the site. Grab as many as you want. And that's it. We're going to see you tomorrow. Don Buster returns in his regular spot. For myself, the Prez, and Andrew McInnes, this is Puck Time. Thanks for tuning in, guys.